and Barnstable where people could actually make suggestions about financing. So I'm not here to offer my suggestions per se, but suggestions that neighbors and readers have made. We've collected over 10,000 comments from all over across the Cape about what should be done about the financing. And I can tell you right now, for the most part, people are willing to step forward to help their neighbors. But it's a very, very close cut. Okay, by that I mean you're lucky if you're at 51%. Okay, so whatever you decide, I think you're going to need a package of ideas. I don't think there's any one idea that the voters are going to support because there simply is no clear-cut consensus anywhere in the community about what financial option is out there. I think people would put 75 cents, maybe $1 on the tax rate. Okay, you get to $1.25, you're losing support. You get to $2, no one wants it. Okay, so if you're thinking override, okay, you need to think small. Okay, because there's a lot of resistance around $1. Okay, and I've actually run polls on this, so it's not total hearsay. Okay, and the survey sample that I use is just a little bit larger than the town sample. I also think that the toilet tax has merit. Okay, and the reason the toilet tax has merit is because it's a saleable idea. People can understand it. They can go into their house and they can count the number of toilets they have, and they know what it's going to cost them. Okay, and by doing a different idea, by going with a toilet tax, okay, as opposed to an override, you're not going to get this gut-wrenching, negative reaction to the idea of an override. I mean, there are people that will swear up and down they'll never vote for an override, and they think what's happening in Stewart's Creek is a travesty, okay? So you've got this sort of emotional conflict between willing to reach into your pocket to help your neighbor and having the town come and stick another $1 or $2 on your tax rate, okay? So that you have to understand the emotions. So I would strongly encourage you not to make the mistake of the Charter Commission, okay, and not listen to the mood of the town. The Charter Commission had this very narrow idea about what they wanted to do. They jammed it down everyone's throat. They didn't take any public comment, and they lost. They got nothing. Okay, now, the one commissioner is running around town trying to get a second hearing. Okay, you have to listen to the mood because whatever happens, it has to be accepted. Okay, and one thing to broaden the idea of what people are willing to pay, whether it's a small override or a toilet tax, you got to take into account the fact that this town is overrun by tourists for 3-4 months of the year. And if you look at all the nitrogen loading charts, okay, nitrogen in our water goes up in the summer. Okay, so to think that the residents of this town need to fix a problem which is brought on by an industry, the leisure and hospitality industry, without consequence. The leisure and hospitality industry does not want to accept the fact that they're bringing people to town. Okay, so there's a lot of resistance to the supplemental sales tax. You'll never get that through. Okay, so the only place that I can see where you're going to get additional revenue from tourists is the embarkation fee. The embarkation fee right now is 50 cents. The airport's going up to $1, okay, in order to pay for the new terminal, okay? Both of them should go to $2, $3, $5, okay? Whatever the embarkation fee is at the airport, it should be same at the terminals, and that should be considered a wastewater surcharge, clean water surcharge, water protection surcharge, whatever you want. But if you were to take that embarkation fee, okay, particularly, well, the airport's going to be a problem because there are a lot of tradesmen that go over there that way, but particularly the ferries. If you got that embarkation fee, you could get $250,000, $500,000, and then you pair that with something, whether it's a slight override or a toilet tax, and you pair that, and people will weigh that and say, well, I'm willing to pay some of this, but these other people are going to pay the other part. And they'll think in their minds, well, that's not so bad. I'm not reaching into my pocket quite as deep. So I encourage you to look for a blend of funding solutions, not one solution. I think that will tremendously help you at the polls, and we all hope that you solve this problem. I also think that you should recommend that the town do a moratorium on all construction until the funding mechanism goes to a vote. Okay, it is irresponsible